Viewers, we're bombarded by so much negative news, especially in election season, because the controversies, the words that are sort of bandied about are all pretty much corrosive. It really gets you down. But I have the pleasure, viewers, of telling you that the markets have touched a record peak today. The Sensex crossed the 75,000 mark, and even the Nifty rallied to record highs. Now let's look at some of the factors that have triggered this historic rally. One of the first, viewers, was that 1,186 points to hit an all-time high of 75,407. That's the Sensex. Let me first just give you the news. The Nifty moved over 360 points to trade at a record peak of 22,960, 22,960. Investor wealth has jumped 3.8 lakh crores. 212 stocks have hit a 52-week high. Banks, financials, IT, auto and energy sector stocks among the top gainers. Market breadth, however, is a little weak. 2,031 of the 3,921 stocks saw decline on the BSE, but it was some of these other stocks that really rallied. RBI is very critical, viewers. One of the reasons being talked about that RBI's 2.1 lakh crore dividend to the centre is going to have a positive impact on the fiscal deficit. It's going to reduce it. And of course, bond yields. The word is that apart from some great macroeconomic news, the markets are anticipating a Modi victory guaranteeing economic stability. Let's listen in now to Vineek Bolinjkar, Head of Research, Ventura Securities, just one of many. He says, market remains buoyant as election-related uncertainties dissipate. Anticipation of political stability following Lok Sabha elections has investors concentrating on quality stock acquisitions, given the favorable medium to long-term market outlook, unquote. Then we have the Bernstein study that goes further and looks at the impact, really, of stable government formation and therefore continuing in governance to the fortune of the stock market. It says BJP winning over 290 seats would boost Mission India 2047. The incumbent winning 260 to 290 seats could rein in capex drive, which means that the amount of money being spent, expenditure being done on big infrastructure projects might decrease. A 240-260 seats victory for BJP would be a ground shock, while less than 240 seats with NDA less than 270 seats would trigger the return of populism, because people will be looking at the next election, which could come about because there would be, of course, the danger of a government imploding on itself, and therefore they'll be very keen on priming us all with nice sops which could ruin the fiscal consolidation that has happened over these last few years, viewers. The market surge helps put into perspective what the Prime Minister had predicted a few days ago in an interview. He said, I can't anticipate stock market moves, but normally whenever a stable government is formed at the centre, the market sees a rally. I see 400 plus seats for the BJP, a stable Modi government coming, and thus the market is rising. When we took office, the Sensex was around 25,000 points. Today it stands at around 75,000 points, reflecting a historic rise. This confidence has spurred domestic investment, with the number of demat accounts skyrocketing from 23 million to over 150 million, and mutual fund investors increasing from 10 million to 45 million since 2014. Markets, viewers, in India do tend to respond to both political developments, especially those that eliminate the possibility of governance turmoil. And there are a large number of landmarks which I can put out on the screens for you. The markets have touched, and that's it over the last 10 years. 25,000 is where it was May 16, 2014. Modi-led NDA won the Lok Sabha polls on that particular day. And then, of course, by 2019, it was at 40,000 when it retained power under Modi. It hit a low because of COVID-induced market crashes, but then it went up. As the economy began to pick up, it went up. And now look where it is, viewers, on news that perhaps Modi is coming back for a record third term. Let's open this up, viewers. We don't have much time, and I really want to get a meaty discussion in. Ajay Bagga, market expert, is there with us. But before that, let me just bring in Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. Sanju Verma, many people are saying this is all hype. that, look, people are getting confidence tricked by the Prime Minister, by Amit Shah, who's talking about 400 par when it's not really happening on the ground. Do you believe that traders get easily tricked? I mean, people who put money usually on their bets really want to be very sure. So I'm asking you, is this a sign of confidence in your coming back, or is it just the hype that has got everyone all excited?
Rahul, selling equities, derivatives, options, and the India story to foreign investors and to local investors was what I did for a living for 20 long years. And, I have to share a personal detail. When I was in HDFC Securities, we were given ESOPs at 10 rupees. And HDFC Security ESOP, and I'm one of the single largest shareholders, it hit a high of 17,000. It's not publicly listed, though it is traded in the private window. And today it's trading at 11,500, 12,000 rupees from 10 rupees. So if you get your investment philosophy right, and if you're patient, you can become a multi-millionaire. Be that as it may, let's talk about hard facts on your show. First and foremost, a 241% jump in the BSE Sensex from the lows of the COVID era. More importantly, why did this happen? I always tell people that the stock markets move on the basis of three things: a consumption boom, an investment boom, and something called a liquidity-driven, sentiment-oriented momentum. Has there been a liquidity boom? Oh my God, certainly yes. In April 2024 alone, the net inflows into the Indian stock markets were 2.39 lakh crore. Foreign institutional inflows into India on an average have been in excess of 2 lakh crore. Debt inflows on an average have been every single year in excess of 2.5 to 3 lakh crore. And mind you, the average FDI investment into India on an average has been $65 billion. Today, the forex reserves are at anywhere between $620 to $640 billion if you take the last 3-week moving average. But, what has driven the consumption boom, which has led to retail investors benefiting? People tell me, oh, Manmohan Singh ke waqt mein stock market upar gaya tha. The basic difference is this: during Manmohan Singh's time, it was not the retail investors who partook of the rally. Do you know something, Rahul?
Okay.
Today we have more than 18 crore mutual fund folios. We have 14 crore retail folios, but we have almost 9 crore SIP folios. SIP is systematic investment plan, and anyone who basically a retail investor, which means 9 crore SIP folios. 9 crore retail investors have opened their accounts, and every single month 20,000 crore comes into the stock markets only via SIP. I am not even talking of debt market flows, large investors or HNIs who are pumping in money. But last but not the least, why is the India story booming? In 30 seconds. Today under Narendra Modi, we are selling 4 lakh cars every month. We are selling 1.5 to 2 lakh tractors every month. We are selling 10 lakh to 12 lakh motorcycles every month. We are selling 5 to 6 lakh scooters every month. We are the 3rd largest electricity producer in the world. We are the 2nd largest steel manufacturer in the world. We are the 2nd largest smartphone manufacturer in the world. We are one of the biggest electronic and pharmaceutical exporters in the world. And guess what? The average income of a tax-paying Indian was 2.1 lakh per annum in 2010. Today, as per CBDT data, it is 13.4 lakh per annum, which means in the last 10 to 11 years, the average taxpayer has seen a 538% jump in his taxable income.
Okay, let me open this. Not only does Sanju Verma have gazillion facts, but also gazillion rupees thanks to the ESOPs. But let me bring in Mr. Ajay Bagga. Mr. Bagga, Mr. Chidambaram says that this would have happened in the natural course. What are we all getting so excited about? The stock markets are, going up because they would have. Would you agree? Or is this now a sentiment coalescing around the fact that, well, you might have a government back, like the NDA, full majority?
Rahul, what happens is markets in the short term are driven by sentiment, but in the longer term, they're always driven by fundamentals. So, the data that Sanju gave made my reply very easy to give. And that's the benefit of having an old friend like Sanju on the panel. She's covered all of it. But, what happens, Rahul, if you look at the corporate earnings corporate earnings have gone from something like 3 lakh crores 5 years back, 7 years back, to about 12 lakh crores a year. You look at the banking profits, what the Prime Minister spoke about, the bank profits where we were writing off lakhs of crores in NPAs every year. Now we are making something like 3 lakh crores of banking profit. That goes straight to your capital. The banks can lend 10 times of that, Rahul. So the economy has reached a very big takeoff point. Is the fundamental answer. And to add to what you showed for today, Rahul, one more small point. Today, foreigners bought, Rahul, a net inflow. They brought in of 4,670 crores. In this month, from 1st to 22nd May, we had seen 38,000 crores going out in foreign outflows. Today, a 4,600 inflow came in. That kind of an inflow doesn't come, Rahul, without something fundamental having changed.
Right.
That is the big part, I think, we have to see.
We've completed phase 5 of this election, only 2 to go. Maybe yes, these great money minders, Dr. Ranganathan, know that something really has changed. Dr. Ranganathan?
Yeah, look, Rahul, GST monthly collection highest ever at 2.1 lakh crores. Vehicle sales highest ever at 4.2 million units. Index of industrial production at a 1-year high of 5.8%. Exports at a 20-month high of 12%. Inequality at a record low of 0.40. Income tax returns highest ever at 68 millions. Net NPA ratio at a 10-year low of 3.9%. Debt to GDP ratio at a 4-year low of 85%. Unemployment at a record low of 3.1%. Forex at an all-time high of 650 billion. Inflation at a 6-month low of 4.8%. Sensex at an all-time high of 75,500. Modi must resign.
You deserve the ESOPs. Sanju Verma, give him all your ESOPs. Come on. Make him a shareholder. Come on, in this story. Come on, make him a shareholder. Give him the ESOPs.
Rahul, am I on the show?
Let me bring in Tehseen Poonawala.
It's the Praise Modi show, I'll leave.
Let me bring in Tehseen Poonawala because he's itching to get in to puncture all our lovely balloons which are floating all around us with big smileys. Okay, Tehseen Poonawala, tell us what is all wrong. Chidambaram said, look, this was going to happen.
Chidambaram is right, but before that, I want the India success story to continue. I'm an Indian. I would always want India to do well, whoever is the Prime Minister. And I am an investor in the market, a very big, a retail investor. I invest in all three, direct equity, mutual funds and SIPs. I also invest in gold and silver, and that's also booming. This is not
you better be careful, because you might have to part with it. You might have to give it to...
The problem is, now that I said it on
your
your
brother-in-law is listening. Don't say all this.
No. The problem that I said it on your show is now ED
Sanju Verma made the biggest mistake. Her ESOPs are going. Tomorrow,
you don't,
I pretend I'm poor. I'm a journalist, so I am poor.
You're not getting it, Rahul. Now that I said this on your show, ED will turn up and I'll have to join BJP tomorrow. That's the problem. Tomorrow, Sanju and I will be on the
same so you're side. Conceding that the BJP is coming back. Okay, fantastic.
But just 2 points. Look. This would have happened if even my grandmother was Prime Minister and she wasn't the best in the economy. It's nothing to do with somebody spoke about the bank profits going up to 3 lakh crores. It was please, I didn't interrupt anybody. Please don't do that. Let's give each other courtesy. Yeah, okay. Somebody spoke about a bank profit going up to 3 lakh crores. I've conceded that. It was 36,000 crores when Manmohan Singh ji was there. That was 10 years ago. You add the rate of growth of rupees versus dollars, it will be 3 lakh crores today. It's not a phenomenal growth. You talk about GST collection.
All countries, their economies go north.
Bhaiya, please. You look at GST collection, GST is criminalized. Okay. Which civilized democratic countries GST criminalized? You have GST that's criminalized. You talk about vehicle sales. Don't talk about vehicle sales.
Okay.
10 seconds.
One second. I'll bring you in.
Please allow me to finish.
I'll bring you in.
Please allow me to finish.
Let him finish.
One line
have I said. Poor man. Let him finish.
You talk about you speak. No, not poor man. I'm very comfortable. Please. You talk about vehicle sales. Don't talk about vehicles where companies are dumping it at showrooms. Ask where the consumer is picking up. That's the problem. I'm not saying India is not booming, but you have a severe problem of inequality. Therefore, while we are the 5th or 4th largest economy in the world, we have the highest unemployment in the world. Our per capita income is 147, and we have highest number of suicides.
We get the macro picture, viewers. No one is saying that India is perfectly, rid of all the ills that face it economically. I don't think even the Prime Minister makes that claim. And he says there's a lot of work to do and I'm working 24/7 for 2047. This is what he says. And I'm sure he knows why. So, one second. Sanju Verma, very quickly, I want to bring you in here. On this persistent claim by the Congress that you're not winning. You're not winning at all. Would this have happened? And I want to bring in the others. Would this have happened, this surge, etc., this pumping in of cash, etc., into our markets would have happened by spendthrift, people cavalier with other people's money?
Okay. Rahul, that's a very interesting question. Ajay Bagga made some very interesting points. Good to see you, Mr. Bagga, on the show. I just have one thing to tell you. This summarizes, a lot of what Prime Minister Modi is saying, and it nails Rahul Gandhi's, lies. At the height of the Adani controversy, Rahul Gandhi said this is not about Adani, Ambani alone. This is about SBI going bankrupt. This is about LIC going bankrupt. Today, as an Indian, forget that I am the national spokesperson of BJP. Guess which are the top 3 Indian banks in the world in the top 50?
Right.
In the top 50, you have today SBI, you have ICICI Bank, and you have HDFC Bank. These are the top 3 in the top 50 globally. And mind you, LIC today, with a market cap of $486 billion, is ahead of True Life. It is ahead of AIG, and it is ahead of USA's MetLife.
Right.
So,
facts.
don't undermine the credibility of our financial institutions. Modi
Allow me to rebut with
the facts are there. 1 second, Dr.
Ranganathan.
Let me bring you
2 facts. Just
okay,
2
1 second. No, 1 second.
Just
Dr.
2 lines.
Ranganathan.
I was continuously interrupted.
I only want to end on a nice light note. I'm not making this.
End, but give me 2 lines.
No, 1
give me
second.
2 lines and let him end.
Dr. Ranganathan, let me ask you. I don't know if you're a betting man, but I'm sure you're an investing man. Now, would you invest? Would you invest in Pakistan, for example? Since we all know that economies go up all the time on their own because you correct them to this number and that number, etc. It keeps going up. So would you bet on Pakistan? Just asking.
If I was a member of the Congress party, then yes, sure, because then I would be. No, but Rahul, I have to also say this, that, I rattled out the numbers, that's data. The economy is doing splendidly well. But again, I see this as a glass half full.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all 4 of you
of course
would agree that the potential of India is just phenomenal. It is about to take off.
Well,
there are so many things that need to be done.
And viewers, if you really want to help India realize its potential, you've got to start thinking about who you're going to pick to govern you. Think about that. I'll leave it at this.